Hey everybody, it's Matt Mayoko checking in late Thursday night from Levi Stadium, site of the 49ers season-ending 12-6 loss to the LA Rams. And of course, it's not the season ender. There's still some football to be played, and I think kind of meaningful football when you look at where this season has been and where it is right now. The 49ers are a team with a lot of issues. Their defense looked good Thursday night, but the offense failed to deliver. And on a night where Dre Greenlaw worked his butt off to get back on the field, and he had a very good first half of play, the guy he replaced decided he didn't want to play football anymore. And that was one of the things that certainly stood out about this game. And probably years from now, whenever I hear the name Devondre Campbell, it will be associated with a player who played a long time in the NFL, 9 years. This is his ninth season, but he refused to enter the game. That's what Coach Kyle Shanahan said, and a lot of his teammates talked about that as well. So a lot to discuss on this video. But first, this is brought to you by Canyon Club Brewery, located in Moraga, right down the street from where I live. And who knows, after this one, I might head over there. Of course, it'll be closed by the time I get home, but maybe Friday I'll head over there and have a cold one. A wide selection of beer styles, different menu items. It's a great place to hang out. Fire pits outside, beer garden, restaurant, brewery, family friendly, bring the dog, all that good stuff. And it's opening soon in the Livery in Danville. So check that out. Whenever that opens, I'm sure you'll hear about it right here. So yeah, the 49ers fall to 6-8 on the season. The defense did play well, and I think Dre Greenlaw did give this team a spark. Greenlaw worked his butt off to get back in the lineup, and in the first half, I think he played like 28 of the 30 snaps in the first half, had 8 tackles to lead the team, and then he didn't play much at all in the second half. And this is what he said about that. He said, the knee kind of felt a little weird, so I just wanted to protect myself a little bit. The knee didn't feel right, and everything got a little bit tight. Just got to make sure that he took that precaution. That's what he had to say about this. So Dre Greenlaw certainly provided some energy for the defensive side. And I thought the 49ers defense played very well. This was a Rams offense that scored 44 points the week before against the Buffalo Bills. 49ers held them out of the end zone. You would think if the 49ers hold the Los Angeles Rams with Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams, with all those weapons, if they hold them out of the end zone, the 49ers win that game, right? No, not at all. Brock Purdy did not play well. 14 of 31 for 142 yards, made an ill-advised throw in the fourth quarter. Didn't have to. It was a 2nd and 10 from the 29. Tried to put it up there for Jawan Jennings, put it out there too deep. Darius Williams with the interception in the end zone. Another thing that stood out in this game, Deebo Samuel. This was a player that talked this last week about no, he's not struggling. He's just not getting the opportunities. And I know previously on this channel and other places, I've said that I fully believe that Deebo Samuel will be on the team next season. Honestly, right now, not so sure. The contract that he has, it could go either way with the 49ers. They definitely have an out to get out of that contract after this season. And the thing that has to be most concerning for the 49ers is that Deebo Samuel was a guy for the first part of his career, never, ever got tackled by the first person. Now it seems like he's always getting tackled by the first person. And another game, with basically no yards rushing, not an impact there, only 2 carries. And then as a receiver, 7 targets, 3 catches, 16 yards. Tried to make a play at the end as a kickoff returner, but Deebo Samuel also had an opportunity. He talked on social media about he's not struggling. He just hasn't gotten the opportunities. Well, he had some opportunities to make plays, including a big one, a 3rd and 10 play where the 49ers were going in. If he makes this catch, and it was a perfectly thrown ball from Brock Purdy on a slant or a post pattern, if he catches that ball, it very well could be a touchdown. And it was right in his mitts. and he dropped it. And you saw the frustration because that was an opportunity he had to change this game. This is a guy who used to be a touchdown maker, and this season only 2 touchdowns through 14 games on the season. And afterward in the locker room, my colleague Jennifer Lee Chan saw George Kittle talking to him for quite some time over there at his locker. And once the media came into the locker room, George left Deebo. Deebo talked to the media a little bit, and he was asked about George Kittle being over there by his side and talking to him after this game. And uh, what Deebo Samuel said was, at the end of the day, George is George. He came over and said, man, I've seen you make that play a million times. Don't let it eat you up. I feel like I can make that play. They win the game. He says that he felt like if he made that play, they would have won the game. But obviously, he didn't make that play. As far as Brock Purdy, I did talk about how he struggled. The 49ers offense as a whole struggled. Uh, they went without a touchdown for the first time in a game since week 7 of the 2019 season. So a long time ago. And what Brock Purdy had to say about this game was, I just feel like I had a lot of plays out there, or left a lot of plays out there, and that I could have made for our team. I thought defense and special teams played good, and that's what's hurting, is that I feel like I failed the team. So I think a lot of people felt that way, as far as they all felt like they could have made some plays in order to change this game, keep the 49ers in the playoff hunt. But now, like I said, with the Rams at 8-6, with Seattle at 8-5, the 49ers 6-8, basically the season is over for the 49ers. Um, a lot of attention after the game on Devondre Campbell. This is a veteran guy. He's played 9 years in the NFL, but Dre Greenlaw was a starter, and this was the first game that Devondre Campbell, actually, I think maybe the second game that Devondre Campbell did not start this season. And so when Greenlaw went out of the game in the third quarter, the 49ers wanted Devondre Campbell to go in. He refused to go into the game, which it kind of obviously shocked Kyle Shanahan. You could tell it angered him as well as they should. And that's something just not done. I mean, maybe it happens once or twice a season in the NFL where a disgruntled player quits on his team. And that's exactly what Devondre Campbell did. And frankly, I think the 49ers season turned in a lot of ways early in free agency, when the 49ers had a contract agreement with a free agent linebacker, Eric Kendricks. He was going to sign with the 49ers, and then he changed his mind, reneging on that contract agreement, just a verbal, non-binding, and ended up signing with the Cowboys. And from there, the 49ers had to kind of regroup, and they signed Devondre Campbell, and Devondre Campbell was a mess throughout this entire season. He started to play better last couple of weeks, but when you look at the 49ers inefficiency on third down defense, when you look at how bad they were in the red zone, I would say almost, not all of it, but most of it can be traced to Devondre Campbell's shortcomings at linebacker. And certainly he's no Dre Greenlaw. When Greenlaw came back, Greenlaw gets the starting job, and Devondre Campbell quit on the team. Nick Bosa was asked about, what the feeling is in the locker room and where the team goes from here, the final 3 weeks. Nick Bosa worked hard to get back on the field after missing 3 games. And what he said is, we're going to find out who wants to be here the next few weeks. Obviously, it's slim, talking about the playoffs, and that's not really the focus. The focus is to win games and put our best out there. And when asked if he would think about shutting it down if the games are meaningless, what Nick Bosa basically said is that these games aren't meaningless. He says, I think if you're healthy, you should play. And I think momentum created in the next few games could be real big for the offseason. So, excuse me. But George Kittle was also asked kind of about his mentality about the rest of the season. And apparently in the locker room after the game, Talanoa Hufanga, who, again, another one of these guys who worked their butts off to get back out there on the field. And what Talanoa Hufanga said when he broke the team down, according to Kittle, was He said that his mindset and his attitude will be 100% effort on every single day, every single practice, every single rep, that he will fight until the wheels fall off, because he has been fighting his wheels off to get back on the football field this season. So, there's going to be a lot of questions. Is the team quitting on Kyle Shanahan? I'll say this: one player on the team quit on everybody. That player quit on Kyle Shanahan. He quit on his teammates. He quit on the fan base. He quit on his football career. He quit on the NFL. And that's Devondre Campbell. And he's going to have to live with that for the rest of his life. So that's the story. 49ers lose to the LA Rams 12-6 at Levi Stadium. And I think what it shows is, 49ers were never a playoff team this season. They lost their playoff card in week 3 when they lost to the Rams. A couple weeks later, when they let another lead get away from them against the Cardinals. 4 weeks ago, when they lost to the Seattle Seahawks, and then this game. So the 49ers, the past 2 years, had been 11-1 in the NFC West, as my voice is cracking, which I guess is appropriate. 11-1 the past 2 years for the 49ers. This year, 1-4. They get swept by the Rams. Season's over, but I think there's still a lot that we'll be talking about as far as the building blocks and what they can do in the future. One thing I'd like to point out, I know I've talked a lot about Deebo Samuel and his future. I really do think now it can go either way. I would have expected him to be back on this team next season, but what the organization has to ask itself is, are his best days behind him? Does it make more sense for them to move on? Bill Walsh always had the philosophy, if you move on from a guy a year too early rather than a year too late. So we shall see what happens the rest of the season. But when you're looking at guys who need to finish strong, who want to finish strong to create some momentum for last year, I would say Deebo Samuel might be at the top of the list, because right now he doesn't look like a player that can help the team next season. And that's what the remainder of this season is about, to show that you're part of the solution and not part of the problem. All right. So thanks for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment, a like, and that is it for now.